We're going to talk about our trip to Logan.
The annual trip to Logan, Utah to take on a top 50, I'll just call it top, I'm downplaying a little bit, but top 50 offense, top 50 defense, and really it's like top 35 offense and top 40 defense. They're one of the best teams in the country, have been for the last couple of years. No surprises there, as I've coached against Jared Calhoun since he was at Youngstown State. He's a phenomenal coach. He's one of my best friends in the business, a guy I can talk to. It's very rare that you can get guys that you compete against that are as humble as he is and allows you to at least have an open dialogue about the game of basketball. You kind of get sheltered a little bit, and everybody thinks they have the best and brightest ideas, and nobody wants to share. So I do appreciate Coach Calhoun and who he is as a human being first and foremost. And then his teams are always well prepared, and Utah State's been a buzzsaw here for the last decade now. So great opportunity for us to go on the road and test ourselves a little bit. I'm hoping to try to get more guys back to healthy. We'll find out more today on Nas. I don't quite know exactly where he's at yet, and still questionable for Jared and still questionable for Matthias. So to that point, got to get ready for the buzzsaw that is the Aggies.
Last year's team, it was one of the best. They followed the scout, and you guys controlled the pace and limited the noise in there for the most part. Do you see a similar philosophy this year, or are they a different team than last year?
I just don't think you could go into Utah State. I mean, it's the old Bill Belichick philosophy. If your strengths are greater than their strengths, go at your strengths, right? If your strengths are less than their strengths, you go at their weaknesses. Now, they don't have a ton of them. They foul probably a little bit more than they usually have. They give up some offensive rebounds, but those aren't necessarily always scalable advantages, just depending on the night. So for us, like we're gonna have to do some different things against them, not just allow them to have the game that they want to play, right? So for us, it's just this next 2 days of prep here is kind of getting the plan that we want to have in place with the personnel that we have without giving too much away.
A lot of freshmen hit the wall this time of year. It seems like Gavin's jumping over the wall. How would you attribute him peaking at this time of year?
I like when freshmen hit the wall in the summer,
yeah.
And he hit the wall in the summer in his first 4 weeks. I just saw that he didn't hit the wall, like that wall hit him. It just slammed on top of him. And because of that, I think that's, you want to have this, the old adage, you got to, you break them down to build them up. I think, our summer is designed to break guys down that are new to our program to help them understand what it's about, how you got to be Cowboy tough. And when that wall hit him in the summer, he just got back up, dusted himself off, and ever since then, he's just got such a great capacity for work. I think that lacks in a lot of players, the capacity for work. When a guy can show up every day and he dunks on guys in practice. It's not like he just does it on game night, right? So he's showing up every day, and that's a lot of force, a lot of power that goes into that. It's not easy, but because he can show up every day and has a high capacity for work, his ceiling, just keeps getting higher and higher and higher, and his floor is raised right now. So as much as the ceiling can always raise, people say, man, you got so much potential. I like to see where a guy's floor is at. What are you going to be consistently? And for the last, 3, 4, 5 games, he's consistently been about 10 points, 6 rebounds, 7 rebounds. And as a freshman, that's high level. I mean, that's high level. And Nas is the same way, right? When we get Nas back, Nas has consistently been at a high floor for us. So those 2 guys have been really special, but Gavin, to that point, is really coming along.
What's the leadership of 4 players in double figures maintaining double figures upon return of other players to the roster?
Yeah, every night you got to find out what's working and who's it working for. The thing about Utah State is they have 5 significant contributors. They have 5 guys every night who are contributing. They don't have a major go-to guy. That's how KenPom breaks things out. Major go-to guy, significant contributors, role players, limited minute guys, and they have 5 significant contributors every single night. And so for us, we got about 3 to 4. Leland's a major go-to guy for us. And when Leland can be the go-to guy who helps our significant contributors raise their level, that's when we're really good. And I don't care who that 4th guy is or that 3rd guy is, but you got to probably have consistently 2 every night, and usually that's been Leland and Nas. And then somebody else out, Gavin, Dennis, Uriah, KB, whoever that is, has to step up and be those next 2 guys. That's our secret to success. 4 guys in double figures, sharing the basketball, and when we do that, I think we're a balanced attack, and that kind of messes with the scout report a little bit.
You guys played well at Texas Tech, and very well for one half at Pitt. Do you think that, lessons you learned from those crowds that maybe you can try to get your guys to play calm in this environment?
Yeah, it's just, we've been in environments now, so these guys shouldn't be surprised at like what it's going to be like at the Spectrum. We've watched enough film and seen enough tape, and people talk enough about the best environments in college basketball, the Pitt being one of them and the Spectrum being one of them. And so our guys shouldn't be surprised by the elements anymore. You got to acknowledge, part of being able to obtain a state of flow is to acknowledge and accept the environment as a given. So that's going to be a given. That environment's not changing. It's rowdy, it's ruckus, it's a good environment to be in. So acknowledge and accept it. Don't expect it to be any less than what it is. And then just move forward knowing that that's an uncontrollable. For us, it's trying to just control the things that we are in control of, and our attitude, our effort, our energy, our execution. And if we can do that, then you kind of take the crowd out of it.
On this journey through the season, how would you characterize right now? What chapter are we in?
Chapter 21, game 21. Chapter 21 out of 31 plus chapters. I would just say what chapter we are in right now is we're in the final third push, right? There's a first, third, second, here's your non-conference, like you're halfway through the conference right now almost, and you're on your final third right now. So you're trying to write the ending of the book. We don't know what the ending of the story is going to be, or the ending of this book's going to be for this team, and so you're trying to write the final third of that book. And there's a lot of things that can still happen. There's a lot of variables, right? I talked about it after the San Jose State game. There's so many opportunities here coming forward, playing, what would considerably be the top half of the league here, coming up with Utah State, San Diego State, Colorado State, just really, really, really good opponents. And to that point, man, this is like one of those choose your own innings. These books are choose your own inning books. They're not pre-written, and they're not predestined. They're choose your own innings. You get to decide how you're going to go out there and compete every single night. I used to love those books in elementary school. These are the choose your own inning ones. Right? Yeah. Flip to page 96 if you do this, or flip to page 75 if you want to do that. I won't say page 67, just for the fans out there.
We're fast approaching a year ago in Las Vegas, and you finished up one of the post-game press conferences, noting that you would always be a coach of a program that built culture.
Yeah.
Where's the buy-in for the culture that you're promoting this season, right here, right now?
These guys have been great. I mean, I have no issues with the human beings that are in that locker room. Right? We haven't had one off the floor issue. We don't have guys come in and I don't get calls after 9:00 at night. It hasn't happened this year. Numerous last year, and it hasn't happened. And so to that point, as a coach, one of the things you pray for is just to have the locker room right, and you win the locker room first. And so once you have the locker room right, then things can happen for you in a way. And these guys haven't given up on the process. They haven't given up on each other, and they're nowhere even close to that. I'm trying to focus a lot more this year on the game rather than the gap, right? And that's really helped me as when you're high functioning and you're always thinking about what's next. That's the gap, something you haven't achieved yet, a place you haven't been yet. That kind of creates anxiety or worry or fear or doubt. But when you live in the game, when you realize, what have we done this year as a team? What have we done as a program? What have we done as coaches? What have we done as players? So I texted my staff on Sunday. I said, at this point last year, we were 10-10. Right, 10-10. Exact same day, January 25th, we were 10-10. The next game we played was Fresno. We beat them. We were 11-10. We lost 5 in a row. Beat Air Force and lost 5 in a row. Right, and so we finished. That was last year at this time. This year at this time we were 12-8. Right, and we're going into our back half stretch here. We're playing the back 9 right now. Right, we're 12-8. We've shown massive growth. We're already at our season win total that we got last year with the Air Force game, which was about 16, 17 games into the conference season. 15 games into the conference season. So living in that, understanding like we've gotten better. This program has changed. We had to show growth in year 2. Year 1 was an impossible task in a lot of ways to get the job when we got it on May 15th, recruit a roster in 20 days and try to go find a way to put it all together. We had time this year. We've shown growth, and we're going to continue to show growth because that's who these guys are. You talk about culture, these guys are focused on the process. They're not focused on the results as much, and albeit everybody focuses on results. But we have to get healthy, we have to get better, and we have to continually find ways to win in the margins. And these guys believe in it. They believe in it. And I think that's hard for people to see sometimes because they got to remember, man, this is a bunch of new guys still, again. And our goal is to continue to create this culture. I want a lot of these guys to be able to say, I want to come back. I want them to believe that this is worth it. That building something is worth it. And that's what I want them to believe. Now, every young man has a choice nowadays. We all know that. We talk about it, but I want them to believe that this process, this fight is the worthy fight. Is the worthy fight. And if you can get a lot of retention and you can build that consistency, I think your competitiveness level spikes next year. And then we'll be sitting here talking about how's your culture. And I'm going to be like, well, look at these 7 guys, 8 guys, 9 guys that stayed. And we can just go back to the fact that they are building this and they're still building this. And that'll be a commendable thing nowadays in this world.
You mentioned the top teams and you're heading into these games again. Do they have more veteran players? Is that a pretty clear?
Utah State, San Diego State have the most returning players in the roster. They're the top 2 teams in the league.
Yeah.
Grand Canyon returned a couple of big pieces in their program.
Yeah.
Those teams have retention. They have really solid players. They have retention. They have resources to have retention.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. And we don't talk a ton about it, but you know, the idea of being able to retain those that have given you and helped you have success, to be able to build it, like that's part of this process. You want to retain good employees, don't you? Like in any business and any CEO, they don't want to lose their best employee, their best salesman to their competitor. They want to be able to retain those. And a lot of that comes down to the resources that you have and the relationships that you build as well.
I didn't realize it. Is the Spectrum in Logan? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a hotbed. That's a hard environment, huh?
It's one of the best in college basketball.
Really? Okay.
One of the best. It's one of the best in college basketball.
Does it have a different personality that than other kind of lions dens that you have?
Well, it looks like autumn. It looks like autumn in there all the time. So I'm not a fan of the aesthetics, to be honest with you.
Really?
Like
The
all
seats
their
are based off of like the autumn in
Oh,
Cache Valley.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
some people's
different
favorite
colors.
Yeah, some people's favorite season is fall. Like I'm more of like a winter guy,
Yeah.
cold, dreary, like Jon Snow. I like the winter. The seats are autumn, but they have the herd. The herd is a well organized student section, and an organization that does a fantastic job of developing scout reports against their opponent and creating themes and culture. I mean, I think that's when it's student led. That's a big deal when they take a lot of pride in that stuff, right? And so shout out to the herd, man. It's a great environment, and they deserve the praise and accolades that they get, because they're the ones that have to show up every single game to make it that way.
Okay. I'm excited to see it.
Multiverse.
Multiverse. Mr. Dion. Keith Kelly. You're good? Bald brother? You're good, Keith? Okay. Peace and love, gentlemen. Have a great Monday.